the letter Z in the alphabet. But no, Killer B is amazing. I love that guy. He's a really talented caster who probably needs a little bit more recognition on his own channels because he does stream on his own channels. Speaking of recognition, as I said before, I know we've got some new people tuning in now. I just want to make you aware, Memb is streaming on Memb TV, and T90 is also streaming this event, T90 Official, both on Twitch. Go and support them before me, because Memb is responsible for hosting the tournament, and his supporters are the reason this tournament has the prize pool that it has. And T90 just became a full-time streamer. So go say hello to him as well and show him some love. But we're going to jump in to our very first game here. And I'll put the scoreboard up so you can see that too. And oh dear, I apologize to TheMax because I forgot to change the flag to Finland. Let me quickly change that now. For some reason, I have Max saved as Norway, which is obviously very incorrect. Max is as Finnish as they come. So welcome, everyone. King of the Desert, the very first game in this tournament main stage between TheMax and Lix right here. Very much looking forward to this tournament because it's all Arabia and it's going to be non-mirror civs across the board. It's really going to put these new civs through their paces because this tournament is all going to be played on Wallow Kingdoms as well. So it is a very well thought out, well designed event, and huge props to Memb and his supporters for organizing this, putting it together. Swiss Boy for administrating, and his donators for putting the prize pool together. So definitely go and support Memb TV for all of that good stuff. And yeah, so let's just get into this. Max here. Oh, never mind. We already got a little scuffle between the scouts, but okay, that's fine. Max losing a little health there. So we've got Max to the southwest playing as that's the Malay. Going for that faster uptime, of course. The Malay getting the next stage 80% faster. It is absolutely, well, it's a very nice bonus to have if you're thinking of going aggressive early on. You can get that aggression going a little faster. But really, that upgrade speed bonus is... Oh, hold on a minute. Let's see if Lix is tempted to lame here. Max does not have Loom. He's going to come in with his Eagle Scout, get some hits onto that villager. She is going to have to run, and that house is now going to be delayed. Fortunately, Max is not going to get housed. He will just send another villager out in her place, and that house will successfully go up. But it's really the raw bonus of 80% faster upgrade speed. It is really more of an eco bonus. It gives you extra villagers, essentially, because the time that you spend not upgrading to the Feudal Age or the Castle Age is time spent training villagers. So it's a big eco upgrade, giving the Malians a very solid early game. Incas, on the other hand, I'll keep an eye out on the scout again. I know we're focused on Max a lot here, but Lix is really being aggressive with his scout. I was thinking maybe, he could go for a boar steal, but Max has got a villager and a scout together, preventing Lix from considering the boar steal. He might try and block the villager here to try and secure the kill, but he's going to be just fine. And okay, yeah, I had a really bad feeling that I didn't change the overlay for a second there, but you guys aren't going crazy in the chat, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, Max will successfully get the boar in, but look at Lix. He's so aggressive here, and if we look at Lix's point of view, look at his scouting. He's just come forward almost straight away. He's not really scouted his own area all too well, but he has scouted the most important things, which is, of course, his 2 boar, all of his sheep, and all that jazz. He's playing to the northeast in the red as the Incas. Incas here, their real key bonus in the early game is going to be obviously the free llama, which gets them off to a solid start, even if you're a little late to find your sheep. And, of course, a bit of extra free food, which is nothing to sing home about. But also the fact that they get the 15% cheaper stone on their buildings. That's affecting their towers, their castles. And that's going to help them if they want to go for that aggressive tower rush. And it doesn't look like Lix is looking for a tower rush. That second boar is coming in too late for a tower rush. You want to be going up on 20 population if you want a tower rush. And against the Malay, who, as we know, go up to the Feudal Age that much faster, a tower rush is probably not the most effective strategy you can go for. But yeah, the Incas are a popular civ. It's interesting to me because I don't think the Incas are, personally that crazy good. But these guys have the 10 civs which are in the pool to choose from now, and he's got to choose to play them at some point. So maybe he's just getting Incas out of the way. I'm not sure. I mean, I think they're a reasonable civ. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they compare to a lot of the civs like the Malians, the Malay, the Ethiopians. I do think they're pound for pound, even the Indians, better civs. But oh wow, Lix is actually going to get that boar steal. I'm surprised I missed that completely. I just assumed that wouldn't happen because his scout was already low. And Max was being very cautious the way he was protecting his boar. But no, Lix slips in there like a slippery fish, gets the boar back home, and gets away with it without losing too much health on his scout even as well. So very well played by Lix. That is really changing the early game up significantly here. I really just thought Max would have that secure. Max now throwing down a barracks, and well, I think he's going to go for men-at-arms by the looks of things as he sends 2 villagers over to the gold here. Why are people saying that Max is so bad? I don't think so. And oh, I just realized that Stream Elements is still spamming in the chat. Like I say, I've been away, guys. I've been away. I've not had time to update this stuff. I've been busy with the Escape AoE stream and setting up for that since I got back from Russia. But yeah, why are people saying Max is bad? Max is a fantastic player. Max, tidbit of information for you. The Max is the creator of Barbarian AI. It's the strongest and best custom AI. In fact, strongest AI to ever exist in Age of Empires 2. I'm betting that most people in the chat probably can't even beat his AI, let alone himself. And that's saying something. He also is part of Finland, the A team, who made it to China to play against Brazil B in the Nations Cup. One of the best team game players and teams that we've ever seen in the game. So yeah, I just wanted to use that in the chat as a way to a segue into talking about Max's achievements and what he has done. It is very true that Max is a phenomenal player, but also achieved other great things in the community, especially with his AI, which a lot of people don't know about, actually, outside of sort of like the scripting circles. So Max is pushing out now with his militia. 3 militia going over. And we're expecting to see men-at-arms, perhaps. He is in the feudal age now, but he doesn't quite have the food for that men-at-arms tech. And if he did go for the men-at-arms tech, he'd probably risk leaving his TC a bit idle. No, he could get it, but he's deciding not to. Just the 3 militia moving out. Meanwhile, we did see Lix doing men-at-arms. He's keeping them defensive on the left-hand side. And he's actually, wow, he's gone for 2 barracks. So it looks like we might see Lix going into Eagle Scouts and going for that kind of 2/3 barracks play. And this could be a very, very entertaining game, because if he doesn't scout these barracks, and it's actually going to be a blacksmith coming up next, but if he doesn't scout the barracks, then Max may be a little bit surprised to see the Eagles coming at his economy, especially since, they take a long time to create. It's not something that you rush into. They take 60 seconds to train. It takes a little while for Lix to get that going. But once he sees 2 Eagle Scouts together with full health, if he sees them here, he'll know he's gone double barracks. And his adaptation now is going to be interesting to watch. Does he wall up and defend? Or does he start pumping out some more men-at-arms? I would, at this point, do the men-at-arms upgrade after I've seen these guys. Because once you know, okay, he's going 2 barracks into Eagles, getting the men-at-arms tech is super valuable. And there it is coming in. To dealing with the Eagle Scouts, you can use your men-at-arms defensively. But these Eagle Scouts are a pain in the ass to deal with. They have 50 health. They've got 3 pierce armor, and Max is going into archers here, which, as you can see, have 4 attacks, so they only do 1 damage. They have to shoot these Eagle Scouts 50 times in order to take them down. Once fletching is in, they can cut that in half, and they can shoot them 25 times. But when you're making 2 Eagles at a time, and they soak up 25 arrows each, that is quite a good situation for Lix to be in, and he may clean up this whole army from Max here as 2 more Eagle Scouts come in from the rear. Max does have his man-at-arms tech, which is really important at dealing with the Eagle Scouts, and it looks like that man-at-arms tech may save the day. The 2 Eagle Scouts here getting kind of low, the man-at-arms being able to tank it for now, and the Eagle Scouts are going to be okay for the time being. But at this point, Max put up a very, very good defense there, using using the map and putting his archers into this little nook here to keep them alive. Fortunately, he had the man-at-arms. If he didn't upgrade man-at-arms, I think he would have lost that fight. It worked out well for Max in the end, and now he's making more men-at-arms to combat these Eagle Scouts as predicted. But he does have a walled up map. He can take this quite easy because he hasn't got to worry about those Eagle Scouts getting into his economy and picking off his villagers. So for Lix, he's probably got a lot of villagers on gold right now. In fact, he's even building a second mining camp. He's even putting a watchtower on the gold. And for that reason, I'm really favoring Max's position right now. Lix's base, it's a lot more open. It's a lot harder to defend. And Max is immediately on the counter attack. Archers coming in as well. And obviously, these men-at-arms can take the fight to the Eagle Scouts. No problem. If the men-at-arms die, I think the archers will die very quickly as well. But Max is all about trying to get those men-at-arms into the fray, getting them to focus on the Eagles. But the Eagles are already outnumbering Max here. And he's trying to chase down the archers first. They are the more gold expensive unit. These Eagles have +1 attack as well now, and that's certainly going to help them. Notice that Max does have +1 defense on his men-at-arms. But those +1/+1 upgrades for Lix, winning him the fight. And he's also outnumbering Max as well, 7-4. I thought Max would be able to do more with his counter-attack. Lix, maybe a deceptive number of Eagles. He does still only have the 2 barracks, as Lix now is considering probably working his way up to the castle age fairly soon. Max, like I said, though, he can chill. He can just chill. He has walled up. These Eagle Scouts will not be too much of a problem to him while he thinks about the castle age himself, and that is exactly what he's doing here. Wheelbarrow is done. He's got plenty of farms up. He's closing in on the 800 food he needs. And those Eagles won't be getting through these walls anytime soon, unless, of course, Max lets them in. But he's not going to be too careless. He just wants to save his archer. Thank you very much, by the way, EP, for the 3-month resub. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Church of Wallow, as we're calling it now. Thank you very much for the support. Now, obviously, the downside for Max here is that he is limiting his space, his building space. He does, at some point, need to push out of these walls. And if these walls could talk, they'd be telling Max to save them, help them, because they're burning, as Lix tries to find a way through. But, of course, Lix isn't going to sit around and attack this wall forever, because these archers, although they do limited damage, they will be laying into them and weakening the health pool, or lowering the health pool of this unit. Lix, though, with the +1/+1, look at his villagers here. +3 defense now, +1 attack. His villagers getting buff, and that's the secondary effect, of course, of these blacksmith upgrades on these Eagles. They are going to affect his villagers as well, making them harder to kill in raiding. If he gets +2, that's certainly going to beef his villager defense up against Max's potential crossbows. However, Max in the back, training more men-at-arms. Are we actually going to see legit long swords? This is going to be amazing as Max hits the castle age. And I think that long swordsman tech's about to come in. He's nearly got the resources for it. In fact, I think he has got the resources for it. There you go. Oh, he's doing crossbow first. Okay, I thought he might prioritize going long swords, but it makes sense to do crossbow first, because he does have an existing pool of archers to upgrade already, and that's crossbows will take down the Eagle Scouts. There you go, baiting Lix now, taking a bad fight purposefully, knowing that that crossbow upgrade's about to come in, and then he can turn it. He's got the hill, he can almost one-shot these Eagles. He's going to clean them all up, and Max is in a great position now, as the long swords are surely going to be on the way. Thank you very much, Robo, for the sub. I noticed you are subbed to literally every channel, so thank you for subscribing to me as well, paying me back those wages. Much appreciated, man. Only one person getting the Kendrick reference, but that's fine. That's fine with me. But anyway, Max here on the right side going to drop down the TC on the I don't really like that TC so much. I'd maybe put it a bit more to the right so he can get on the gold as well, but you know, that's okay. He's gone for the left side too. And Max is not neglecting his economy here, but he wishes he had that longsword's tech a little bit earlier. We've already got Eagle Warrior in for Lix. He's got +2 defense already, and those men-at-arms melting away. They have been destroyed, completely wiped off the face of the earth before the the longswordsman tech comes in, and that is a big problem for Max. He's just thrown his army away, and then the technology comes in. Kick him while he's down, why don't you? That's gotta hurt, as Lix now prepares for the +2 attack, and this aggression from Lix has been duly noted. His second TC is up in the back, so he's not neglecting economy, but he is certainly keeping the pressure on now, with +2 attack coming in, with arson coming in as well. He's going to go for that building attack bonus, and he's going to be spamming Eagles for days. We're going to be potentially seeing a TC going down to Eagle Warriors here if he gets enough of them out, but Max is certainly going to be utilizing the long swordsman now as we see a villager coming forward, dropping a siege workshop. I like this aggressive style from Lix. The siege workshop coming up on the hill, and it's not a nice defensive position for Max. He is at the bottom of the hill everywhere he goes, and Lix is just going to abuse that hill now. Look how quickly this house is going down to the Eagle Warriors. That 9 damage plus the 2 from arson, giving them a huge DPS on the house, and he can't even out-repair it. Max gonna lose his villager, and the long swordsmen are coming out. The monk here as well. Of course, these guys are resistant to conversion, so the monk is going to be limited in how much effect it can have, and Max is like, shit, son, I need to put down another barracks. I'm not ready for this. Now, he might be able to take down the siege workshop at least. Lix may want to cancel that mangonel, or he may want to pop it out the back and go for a clutch shot, but I think he'll lose the mangonel at this rate. Unless he can come and save the day by taking the fight here. Max does not have upgrades, though. He's only got +1 defense, and that is a problem. The mangonel comes out, getting a decent shot, lowering the health pool of these units, and I think the Eagle Warriors may be able to clean this up. Like I say, he does have +2/+2, but it's so hard to predict these fights, because how often do you see long swordsmen versus Castle Age Eagles? You just don't. Welcome to Warlord Kingdoms. Welcome to the new age of empires. Max here actually does get the kills there, and that's actually a great value trade for him. The gold, of course, remember the gold of these eagles is much higher, 50 gold per eagle warrior versus the 20 of the longswords. But also consider that Lix has invested in +2 defense and +2 attack here, whereas Max hasn't even done the upgrade on the attack yet. So Eagle Warriors really being countered hard by the long swordsman, and Max's 4 barrack production. I'm really enjoying this so far, as Max looks like he wants to take map control, and Lix has got a very exposed town center here. I think Max could take that down if he goes with a siege workshop forward, as Lix now has to go to plan B, and plan B is of course going to be archers, crossbows, and he can't get them out quick enough because Max is already moving across the map now with a sizable army of longswords backed up by crossbows. And I think Max can take any fight now, or any army that Lix can field right now. He's got a really, really good combo. Thank you, Ghost Rider, for the 5-month resub, by the way. I'm trying to get those in there when I get the chance here. But Lix just doesn't want to engage this army. And even with crossbow bodkin arrow, he's behind in numbers now. He's got to catch up. He's throwing down a 3rd range to try and bolster his production. Max, meanwhile, back at home, collecting the relics, doing his, the boring household chores. No one wants to do the washing up, but it has to be done. Max is making sure not to slack and getting those relics in. Preparing to dig in for the late game as he prepares +2 defense right now. Lix is also getting the monks out across the map here. This is nice because longswordsmen don't resist conversion. Longswordsmen are a reasonable target for the monks, though ultimately still only 20 gold per long swordsman. It's not like converting a knight, and I think the long swordsman is an underutilized unit, which Max here is showing can be used very effectively. I want to see arson from Max. He's going for squires right now for the move speed. I want to see arson, to be honest. I want to see him go and just batter down this TC. That isn't favoritism. That's just me wanting to see some cool stuff happen. But, oh, Max is going to lose his villager. Can he get the stable up? Yes, he can. And I think maybe this stable is going to be elephants here. I don't see him going knights as the Malay. The Malay have the worst knights in the game. But elephants doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense either, given that there are monks out on the field. Not that it matters now anyway, because Licks very quickly taking down that stable. And I guess the issue for Max right now is that although he has this larger, superior army, although he can take the fight to Licks, his army is much slower, and that's why he did squires, I believe, there for the movement increase. The problem he's got right now is his units were too slow. And that's something that a lot of people don't really factor in when they consider the relative strength of units. Speed is a really important factor. Look how quick these long swordsmen are now compared to what they were before. They are speedy, and that's important. Maneuverability, positioning, all coming with that movement speed increase. So Max has got this sizable 51 military, mostly comprising of long swords, a few crossbows added in as well. And Licks is halfway to the Imperial Age now. Max can click up to the Imperial Age in a minute and basically be neck and neck, but he is really throwing down the food into this longswords production. Let's see how this fight goes. Not a great fight so far. Half of his army engaged a little bit too soon, but the crossbows are coming around the back. He does have the hill. Of course, the Eagle Warriors are going to go straight for the crossbows, try and take them down. If Max loses all of his crossbows here, he could be in a bit of trouble. The crossbows from Licks, of course, can turn this fight using the choke point between the two buildings here and microing backwards to focus down those long swordsmen. They are just too slow, and Max will be repelled. He did have a substantial 20 military lead before that fight, and that lead has been reduced to just 3 now, as he sits at 29 military versus Licks' 27, and Licks is preparing to push forward with this Imperial Age transition, throwing down the Siege Workshop, getting out some rams, and preparing to push forward. Ballistics coming through from the university, as Licks is, he's got a really nice eco back here. Very nice position for Licks now. Obviously going to go straight into Arbalest. That's his counter unit at the moment. He'll want to upgrade those Eagle Warriors a little bit later on. But for now, the Arbalest, the Bracer, is going to basically negate these long swordsmen, make them completely useless. As Max comes over to the left side of the map. I'm not sure what he's doing there. Elite Eagle coming in as well for Licks now. Like I say, not really the priority, but certainly a great raiding unit which he can use once he busts through these walls. Max, can he get the kill on this monk with his villager? Will the conversion pop off? Does Licks have the RNGs on his side? He's got the uphill defense advantage. If Licks had been downhill, I think he would have lost that there, but the monk will survive to tell the tale as Max makes off with the relic. And Max now is in a lot of trouble, in my opinion. He is tacking into two-handed swords, he is doing +4 defense, and he is on the counter attack, but can he withstand this onslaught from Licks? He's bought the ram, he's got the arbalest. There's no way that Max can engage this without some siege now. He desperately needs to get some siege, in my opinion, but even still, even without Onager, I think Mangonel here is not going to work too well, especially with the Eagle Warriors coming through. Look how quick they are, coming straight through that hole, looking to raid as Max throws up the stables in the back, but he's running out of room. He's got no map control whatsoever. Licks is just coming in from all angles, all sides. On the right side, he's raiding the gold. In the center, he's taking down the monastery and busting through with the cap rams. And on the left side, he's raiding with the Eagle Warriors here as well. Max with a nice quick wall over this side. He's got to be going for the elephants now. The problem is the elephants are so expensive. He will not have the food economy to support elephant production for much longer if these Eagle Warriors continue to raid his base. He is continuing to wall up, but he's losing ground over and over. His TC is falling now with only 7 villages inside it. They're doomed to die. And no, there's a hole. There's a gate. The gate is open. Max didn't lock it and the villagers came out. The Eagles are going to make it through, and that's got to be GG from Max. He will try and hold on, maybe, with the elephants, but he knows it's over as he loses his town center and the villagers are massacred all over his farms. The elephants were a short-term solution. The counterattack was going in full force on the other side of the map, but the base race situation would not have worked out in Max's favor. Ultimately, Max gets the win, and Licks gets the win. Max just cannot defend anymore, and I like that style from Licks. It was a very aggressive style, keeping on the pressure throughout, not overbooming his economy at the back. And Licks playing nice there. I enjoyed that game from him a lot. Now in the chat we're seeing no slingers. People fail fishing. Fail fishing on Licks for not doing slingers there, but I think the Arbalest were fine. Arbalest are a little more versatile than the slingers. Bear in mind, the arbalest hit harder, and he had a group of crossbows already. He can upgrade to arbalest. I know you can make slingers in the Castle Age, but I don't think you want to make slingers in the Castle Age. Remember, Max was making a combo of crossbows and longswords. If Lix went slingers and eagles, he would have lost that fight. The reason he won that fight was because he had the crossbows in the back to take out the, to deal with crossbows from Max as well, I believe. I think slingers may have worked, don't get me wrong. It can be a viable unit, but I do think the arbalest is still the better choice there for him. Anyway, GG, really nice first game. Shame we can't see the stats at the end. I don't know why, it wasn't